Welcome to Wisdom for the Day, a thought-provoking trek through the book of Proverbs, where timeless wisdom awaits. Join us as we unlock the secrets of Proverbs and transform our minds towards embracing true and godly wisdom. Each day, we'll reflect on a different proverb, in order, unraveling its layers of insight and practical application. Get ready to be inspired, challenged, and empowered to live a life of purpose and righteousness. Wisdom for your day starts now. Today is day 198. We're in the 17th chapter of the book of Proverbs, verses 1 and 2, from the New Living Translation. Better a dry crust eaten in peace than a house filled with feasting and conflict. A wise servant will rule over the master's disgraceful son, and will share the inheritance of the master's children. In verse 1, dry bread, that's not a very good meal. We might prefer the rich food at the party, but a quiet place is better than a place where people argue. A party can be noisy and unpleasant, and any arguments will upset people and spoil the meal. The man's going to be happier if he stayed at home. For this man, dry bread is better than a special food at a party. If possible, we don't need to argue. In verse 2, an evil son deserves to be a servant. A wise servant deserves to be a son. If the evil son doesn't change his ways, he's going to lose his inheritance. And normally, a child receives an inheritance when his parents die. The wise servant will receive a share of the inheritance instead of the evil son. See John chapter 8, verse 39, Acts chapter 13, and Galatians chapter 3. A member of Abraham's family ought to be a child of God. Each person who's a member of Abraham's family deserves this. It's like that person's inheritance. But if that person refuses to follow Jesus, then that person loses his inheritance. Instead, everyone who's not really from his family can become a child of God. Everyone who follows Jesus is a child of God. In the first proverb, the Creator emphasizes the importance of harmonious relationships. It's better to live in peace with your family, even without much wealth, than to be wealthy but estranged from them. In modern terms, verse 2 could be interpreted as an honest and hard-working employee might end up running the family business instead of the owner's irresponsible son. So let me ask you, you're enjoying a quiet, peaceful meal with friends? That can be rejuvenating. If your meals are often filled with anger and conflict, it might be beneficial to reconsider who you share your meals with. Do you need to change your dining companions? Well, that's all for today, but I'll be back tomorrow with more of Solomon's wise teachings. For free Wisdom of the Day merch, head to buymeacoffee.com/renewed mindsets and consider becoming a community member. The executive producer of Wisdom for the Day is Yelena McClellan. The co-producer and spiritual advisor is Kimmy Shirley. Intro music by Weston McCurry. If you like this show, do me a favor and tell someone about it. Share it with them. I'd really appreciate it. Until tomorrow, I'm Rick. I love you. See ya.
Hello. Do you ever feel defeated as a Christian in the confusing times we live in today? This is where God's Loving Sacrifice podcast comes in. We do Bible studies to help you strengthen your walk with the Lord in today's crazy world. We also encourage you to share the gospel and the love of Christ with this world in need. John 3:16 tells us about God's loving sacrifice, and we use the Word of God to help you find a fresh perspective on issues like forgiveness, love, obedience, mercy, and reconciliation. Join us as we delve into the true essence of faith in God and our call to go into the world and preach the gospel. So listen at www.godslovingsacrifice.com.